Hello, hi y'all. I wanted to jump on because I'm having such interesting conversation with many of you in the DMs about the best diet for healthy hormones, what to do for cortisol balance. And so I love just taking the opportunity to come on live and chat with you about women's hormone health, about what is going on when we just can't seem to make progress when it comes to moods or energy or our weight. I also don't know about you, but I am getting absolutely sick of seeing men telling me as a woman how to eat to regulate my hormones, how to supplement to support my hormones, how to move my body, how to exercise, what habits I should have. I'm seeing a lot of men out there, in the functional medicine space like I'm in, who are trying to give women advice on what to do. And they're clearly just parroting somebody else who said something related to what's going to be best and healthiest for women. And, even things like cycle syncing habits. Who's heard of cycle syncing? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of cycle syncing. So, cycle syncing, by the way, if you don't know what it is the idea that as women in our cycling years, so when we're having a period, we're having a bleed, which, by the way, your cycle as a woman, day one is the first day of your period, and the last day of your cycle is the last day before your next period. That's a full cycle. So your period and when you bleed is not your cycle. It's that whole stretch of time. And optimal for most women in their cycling years, meaning in the years that you're still getting a period or a bleed, is about 26 to 34 days total for that cycle to be. But anyway, cycle syncing, which if you've heard of it, let me know, is this idea that as women, we should change the way that we eat, the way that we exercise, the way that we supplement, the way that we live our life based on where we are in our cycle. And I have to tell you, as a woman and as somebody who's worked with other women on their health for going on 8 years now, I find that to be chaotic. This idea that we would change all of these things about our life, these critical cornerstone habits, that we would have to change them it depends on where you are in your cycle, every 3 to 14 days. It's maddening. I mean, I don't know about you, but it was hard enough for me to learn exactly how to eat for my hormone health and my cortisol balance, exactly how to exercise for my hormone health and cortisol balance, exactly how to supplement for my health and my hormones and my cortisol balance, exactly how to live my life and set up my day-to-day schedule. It took a lot of effort, y'all, to learn these things, right? To learn how to manage my stress, to learn how to prioritize my nervous system health, to learn all of these things. It took a lot of effort. So the idea that I have to change all of those things every 3 to 14 days is freaking ridiculous. It's absolutely maddening and insanity. And honestly, I know a woman came up with this method. So Alyssa Vitti, she's great. And I think she offers some really interesting ideas when it comes to pairing these things with where you are in your cycle as a woman in your cycling years. But I got to tell you, I think we can take inspiration, but making these huge changes and overhauls every couple of days is so confusing. Who here agrees? I'd love to hear in the comments if you agree. I see somebody saying, yeah, they've heard of this. I'm curious what you think, because I think it's wild. It's absolutely wild. So anyways, I want to open up the floor to you and see if you have questions about cortisol, to see if you have questions about hormone health, to see if you have questions about the best diet for women, because I'd love to get in the weeds a little bit. I have a couple of minutes before I get on with my clients for today, and before I get into working on some behind the scenes Black Friday magic, which I'm really, really pumped about. I already have a couple of women who are enrolling in my Black Friday bundle, which is amazing. I haven't even officially announced it. So the full public official announcement will happen on Thursday. So if you're not on my email list, make sure you head to the link in my bio and grab my free cortisol roadmap. It's 4 food-based strategies that you've got to have in place. If you want to regulate your cortisol, you should want to regulate your cortisol. It's one of our stress hormones, but also important for immune function, gut function, overall hormone health, your cycle health. It's the thing that I personally found, as somebody who has been biohacking and hacking my health literally almost 20 years at this point. It's the thing that really game changed it for me. When I started focusing on cortisol, all these other pieces calmed the fuck down. I'm just going to cuss because that's who I am. Okay, so feel free if you have a question about Black Friday, if you have a question about my Balanced Cortisol Academy, if you have questions about genomic testing, because today is the last day for 2024 to have access to my genomic testing package. If you have questions about any of that, feel free to drop it in the comments. And I see a couple of coming in, so I'm going to jump in and answer some of them. Okay, so I see one: on my period now, my acne and body acne flared up so bad this time. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing with skin stuff that I think is really, really important to think about. If you're having a skin reaction, like you're having a terrible breakout, you're having a terrible rash, you're having eczema, the first thing you need to know is that skin reaction is not your body's preferred way to move toxins out or to move things that are causing inflammation or detrimental to your body out. Your body's preferred pathway is actually your gut. It's your gut. Okay. So if your gut is not effective or efficient at moving out organisms, bacterial overgrowth, fungal overgrowth, parasites, if you're eating a lot of foods that irritate your gut or irritate your immune system, if your cortisol is dysregulated, right? It comes back to cortisol, I'm telling you, okay? But if all those things are not able to flow through your gut well, then you're going to have skin reactions because it's the body saying, oh my God, we can't get it out this preferred way that we have, so we're going to push it out any way we can. So that is oftentimes why we see women experiencing what might be hormonally related acne or inflammatory related acne. So depending, I need to know a little bit more about you and what's going on with you, and we don't have time or space to do that here, but it is something we can always chat about inside of my membership, or as part of my Black Friday bundle, you actually get 3 live office hour calls with me, so we can get in the weeds a little bit more there. But a couple of things to consider if you're a woman experiencing skin breakouts. And I am obsessed with skin health. I foresee myself as the years pass talking even more about this. I've gotten into conversations more and more about healthy aging and healthy skin as I've been in this space and doing things myself. So I want to show you all my skin depending on where you're connecting because I'm double streaming. So I have actually very little makeup on. I have concealer on. I have a little bit of like a little bronze, a little bit of mascara, a little bit of eyebrow gel, and some lip stuff on. Very simple, okay? And I'm in my late 30s. So here's the thing with skin, is it's a reflection of what's happening on the inside. So some easy things for you to do. First, are you drinking enough filtered water? Now, filtered water is not a Brita filter, although that's better than nothing, but I highly, highly recommend reverse osmosis and adding back in minerals or taking really high quality electrolytes. And if you want links to anything, send me a DM because everyone that I work with or recommend is doing a sale right now, so I can hook you up with some of those great discounts happening. But really good high quality filtered water. You want to be having half of your body weight in pounds in ounces of water, and you want to be adding minerals to it, okay, in most cases, to help your body absorb that. I actually just went through and revamped the hydration module inside of my Balanced Cortisol Academy course. So it has all like the latest and greatest on this, which is so cool. So you've got to make sure you're really hydrated. Next, we've got to look at your diet. If you're having skin reactions like breakouts, like rashes, like, excuse me, little burp, like eczema, all of that, we've got to look at what you're eating, and you've got to take an approach to your diet that is one that reduces inflammation and increases easy to absorb nutrients. So I really love, and I recently have been doing this with so many clients and personally been doing this, I call it the soup diet. It's not a forever thing, by the way, but it's a nice reset, okay? Where you do like a week where lunch and dinner is a soup, okay? And the reason it's so great is because it's a great chance to get broth in, which is so nourishing and healing for the gut. It's a great chance to get gently cooked proteins in. So that soup should have beef in it or chicken in it or even a seafood in it, right? To get those highly bioavailable, easy to absorb proteins in it. Really important. And then also, right, it has veggies in it. It has things like onions in it or garlic in it, as long as you don't have an issue digesting those. You put herbs in, you put spices in, right? So that little reset could be very helpful. But a lot of times, so for breakfast, you could do soup. I have some clients where when symptoms are really extreme, I'm like, get that soup in every meal. But you also could do, for breakfast, I would just recommend savory cooked foods. And so I would do things like ground meat with veggies and like potatoes, right? Like something kind of nourishing, warm, soothing is a great place to start for breakfast. So I'd look at your diet in that way, and I would cut out anything like gluten, anything like a ton of grains, anything that has a lot of sugar in it, I would cut those things out, okay? Like, I really think it's going to take you so much further, and you're going to notice potentially some pretty quick transformations if you're able to make some of those adjustments just out the gate. So that's what I'd recommend as a starting place. And if you want more support with that, definitely check out my Black Friday bundle, because it is made for you and women like you. It can really help with these kinds of skin-based symptoms, but it also can really help with women who are experiencing a lot of stress or anxiety or inability to lose weight, or just feel like you have been given the runaround when it comes to your health. I know I have been there. Who else can resonate with that? So just some things to think about. Other questions you all have, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to help you out with anything related to your hormones, related to your gut health, related to not having the energy you want, the sleep you want, your mood's dysregulated, your skin is messed up. What is going on with you? And let me help you today, because I would love to support you. And these lives, I just love because it's such a fun way for me to interact with you. Like, I don't know if you can all tell, like, my energy is just like, yeah, let's do this. The comments and even like the DMs to some extent just feel kind of, the vibe can just be kind of like here. But when I come on camera and chat with you all, I just feel like I can give you so much more, which is so fun and exciting. So I have a couple more minutes before I jump in to my clients today. I just heard a noise at the door. Before I jump into my clients today, my one-on-one clients, and then also today I have a mastermind group I do that's women who have been through my Balanced Cortisol Academy, which is going to be part of that amazing Black Friday bundle. And honestly, it's my happy place. I love chatting with these women. They just get it. They also applied what they learned through the Balanced Cortisol Academy and have seen incredible transformations. Like, some of those transformations have been so amazing. One woman who's in that group, she was like on the brink of feeling like she was going to need anti-anxiety medications and didn't need them after going through my Balanced Cortisol Academy. Incredible. One woman was so frustrated, struggling with her weight, and just felt like she was on that hamster wheel of not being able to lose weight, doing everything right, exercising, watching what she was eating. And you know what? There were things she was not doing right that we had to tweak and adjust. And she easily started losing weight. Her inflammation went way down. Another woman in that group had a lot of struggle with the breathing, actually, which, like, this is the cool thing. When we work on cortisol, we have the ability to ripple effect and impact all of our other hormones. It's amazing. But one woman, she struggled with breathing, and she didn't realize that, like, most of her life, she couldn't breathe out of her nose. Like, that's very serious and significant. And after going through my Balanced Cortisol Academy, she breathes through her nose. Like, can you imagine how incredibly life-changing that is? And then I've had countless other women where, like, their puffiness went away, their bloating went away, their moods balanced, their energy went up. Like, they just feel so good in their body after participating in my Balanced Cortisol Academy, which is like, that's why I do what I do, which is so incredible. Okay, I see a couple of questions coming in over, like I said, I'm double streaming because I'm all about, like, efficiency here. I want to help as many of you as I can. So I'm going to go over here and let me see. I know I saw some questions come in, and of course it gets, like, pushed up. So let me try to find, I'm trying to find the initial one. And as I'm doing that, if you all have questions about cortisol, if you have questions about your hormones, if you have questions about, like, as a woman, what should I be eating? What is the best diet to do? If you were here at the beginning when I was talking about cycle syncing and how I think it's, like, way too complicated, and you have thoughts or questions about that, definitely let me know. Okay, so I'm seeing a question about low cortisol and what foods to have for that. So first of all, you need to see, I just did a post over on IG or Instagram. They get mad at me when I name the other platform on here, but I'm going to do it anyway. So on Instagram, I'm at Marissa Faye Wellness on both places, Instagram and TikTok. So make sure you're following me in both spots because I do a little bit of different things on each of those. But I'm over on Instagram a lot recently because TikTok has started to censor me whenever I talk about weight. And, like, that's something you all ask me about and you want me talking about. And so, like, it's so annoying that I can't just openly discuss it on TikTok. So I'm over on Instagram a lot more, but I did a whole post today actually about how, like, it's not about high cortisol or low cortisol and what it's really about. It's about balanced cortisol. So definitely check that post out and the whole caption because it is eye-opening, I think. But when it comes to cortisol, right? So you really want to be thinking about, am I regularly nourishing my body? And anybody who's been through my Balanced Cortisol Academy knows that I will stand and talk on this soapbox forever if I have to. you really have to use food as a tool. So food is this opportunity we have, this wonderful opportunity we have where multiple times in one day, right, we can literally give our body information about what it should be doing. So part of what happens when our cortisol gets dysregulated is we need that even more. We need food to literally send a message and speak the language of the body and say like, hey, you're safe. I'm giving you nourishment. You don't have to worry about when it's going to be next because I follow a schedule. You don't have to worry if you're going to get enough of these critical nutrients that you really need, right? In order to have cortisol balanced and all your other hormones. So I really recommend get on a regular eating schedule where you eat breakfast within an hour of waking, where you have another meal or snack every 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 hours, depends a little bit on you personally maybe, but 3 to 4 hours is a good place to start. And that you're prioritizing protein and cooked veggies. Cooked veggies. So much easier on digestion than raw veggies. I also do love fruit, but what I tend to find is that a lot of us are not eating enough proteins that are easy for the body to absorb, which are often going to be animal proteins. So I'd really recommend starting there. And I have an incredible guide that's linked into my bio. That's a roadmap for beginning cortisol balance. And it's 4 food-based strategies that work for high cortisol or low cortisol. So I highly recommend you check that out. It's completely free. So definitely check it out. Okay, I think I can do 1 or 2 more questions before I have to jump off to be with my one-on-one clients this morning. So I'm going to go over here. So PCOS and can't get pregnant. Do you help with that? Yes, I do help with that. I have a couple, actually, it's so cool. I have a couple who I just saw last week, not a couple together, a couple women too, who came to me with PCOS and couldn't get pregnant, and they have just had 2 healthy babies separately. So yeah, absolutely. So reasons for infertility can be vast, and reasons for PCOS, a lot of times you get taken down the rabbit hole of like, oh, it's your testosterone or your DHEA. And I've actually seen in a lot of women with PCOS, it's actually this cortisol piece of the puzzle that's really, really important that I just continue to talk about. Because it's so critical and it's part of what dysregulates all of our cycling related hormones. And you learn more about that in my Balanced Cortisol Academy, which is going to be part of my Black Friday bundle. If you're interested, make sure you're on my email list, which you can do by literally click the link in my bio, grab the free cortisol roadmap, and that'll put you on my email list to get updates. But a lot of times with PCOS, we've got a cortisol problem, we've got potentially a thyroid problem, we've got a blood sugar problem. So a lot of people are looking at PCOS the wrong way. And I really see PCOS and infertility in most cases as it's a response. It's the body adapting to conditions that are really not ideal for optimal hormones. So that's what we often have to focus on and work on. So if you're interested in working with me, you can always check out the link in my bio. I have a way to book just a discovery call with me that's quick and a way for us to touch point, or you can send me a DM if you want to chat more. Or a fantastic place for most people to start is going to be this Black Friday bundle. And the reason I say that is because I've had clients I've taken through intensive one-on-one work, and if the stuff that I teach in the Balanced Cortisol Academy doesn't stick for them, they just never make like the full progress that they're looking to make. And so it's like, don't like get the most bang for your buck is kind of where I'm at with it. So that's what I would recommend. Yeah, totally. You're welcome. Okay. I see the time. I literally have to jump. But I would love to continue this conversation with you. I'll be coming on live a couple times over the next few weeks to chat with you all and just see how I can support you and just give, and also to highlight the Black Friday bundle coming up. If you're not on my email list and you haven't downloaded my free cortisol roadmap, your next step, your action step is close out this live. Go to my profile, wherever you're watching this, go to my profile. There's a link. Click on the link. Click on the free cortisol roadmap, sign yourself up, get that info, right? Get started right now, okay? And that is really, really my gift to you for free. Okay, I've got to run, but I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope that I will see you again and get a chance to support you.